Good afternoon, everyone. I'm GoLocal Live contributor Chelsea Gay here live in our downtown Providence studio. We're going to be talking lifestyle this week, what is happening in Rhode Island, and we're kind of hoping for spring, I think, even though we just got another dumping of snow. But we're going to talk about some fun spring stuff today, spring home sales, spring fashion, and spring art. So hopefully that'll keep us a little bit warm as we keep going through this freezing March weather. So my first guest today, Sally Lapides, President and CEO of Residential Properties Limited over here in Providence. Sally, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so we were just discussing last week on the phone how the spring market has kicked off a little bit early because it's been a little warm, but I think we jinxed it because then we got dumped with snow.
Yes,
so.
that is true. That is true.
What are you going to do?
But the spring market did start early. I mean, everybody thinks that the spring market starts on April 1st. It does not. If there's no snow, then we get the spring market on January 2nd.
Okay. So before we get into kind of all the details of the spring market, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and about residential properties and kind of what you guys do over there.
So I started residential properties in 1981, and I know I don't look that old, right?
No.
Okay. And I started it with 6 brokers. We are now almost 200 brokers. We have 6 offices around the state, and we're the #1 real estate company in the state, both in dollar volume and the number of sales that we do.
Okay.
So I'm pretty proud of that.
Excellent. And was the kind of the start in Providence? Was that the first?
The start was in Providence.
Okay.
And we then grew, and we do a lot of relocation. And when you do a lot of relocation, you have to have offices in and around the state, and so we do.
Okay, so let's talk about the housing market over this past year in Rhode Island.
Yes.
Any trends that you're seeing? What was the kind of census of the market in general?
So, in general, the interest rates stayed low. They were up a tiny bit from the year before, but they were low. There was more job security than we've seen in the past, and overall the market was really strong. Inventory was low, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, inventory was low.
That.
So in many, many areas, people waited for the right house to come on, and when it finally came on, they ended up being in a bidding war, which was not a good thing.
Not great. And so when inventory is low, is that generally because people are happy just kind of hanging on to the property they have? Does it have anything to do with people aren't retiring yet? I mean, what's the reason for that?
Well, you know, I think that when inventory is low, it means that people are just happy with where they are. And
that's not a bad thing.
Right, that's not a bad thing. And, you know, the days of everybody buying a starter home and a middle home and an ending home and then are over. People buy often just one home and stay there for a long time. So the inventory was just down because people were pretty satisfied with where they are.
Not the worst thing.
No.
Not the best thing, I guess, for realtors, but
no, it's not. It's not. But it's a reason why people are pretty happy with what's going on in Rhode Island right now. So that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. And so we're hitting the spring market, and now why is spring such a a known time for home sales?
Well, if you live in an area that is school driven, spring is really important because people want to show it in April and May, close in June or July, and be there for their children to start in the school system. If you're in the city, the spring market just happens 12 months a year. It is not driven by the school year. So people are coming and going in and out of the city, and it's always hot actually in Providence. Yeah.
Doesn't really have a seasonal market in the city.
It really doesn't. But more inventory comes on as of April 1st because a lot of people say, I don't want anybody in my house when there's snow on the ground and crummy weather and my yard doesn't look good. But I always have a theory. If you have a small yard, put your house on the market in the winter. People are too cold to go outside and notice
Check out your yard, right. I can be here. It's very homey.
Right,
exactly. You don't want to go out in the yard anyway.
Exactly. That is so true.
So if inventory is still low, I mean, this must be, if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, it's a good time to do it.
It is.
And so if you are one of those people thinking about putting your house on the market right about now or putting it on the market, you're lucky because the inventory is low, but if your house maybe isn't as spruced up as it could be, What are some things that sellers can do to better prepare themselves for
All right.
putting their house on the market?
So one of the things that we all get used to in our own homes is clutter. And what I always say to people is look at any architectural digest or any magazine that is selling home furnishings, and what you see is almost nothing in the photographs.
Yeah.
And so what you need to do is walk around your house and get rid of everything you can't live with. Pack it away, give it away, do whatever you want. As I always say to people, keep the memory, get rid of the thing. So you have to do that. People don't like dark
Doesn't
rooms.
spark joy. What does that mean?
That's right, exactly. You know, people don't like dark rooms anymore. People like light and bright and the hardwood floors. And so if you have a house full of wall-to-wall carpeting, take it out in one room, sand and polyurethane the floor. It'll make a difference so that a buyer comes in and says, oh, these floors are gorgeous and I have allergies or whatever they say. I don't like
Absolutely.
carpeting. So, but get rid of all the clutter. Get rid of all those little small appliances you have all over the countertops.
Just move towards me a little bit.
Make sure that you paint any chipped paint. Make your front door look new and shiny. If it's the springtime and there's no snow, put pots of flowers out there. Get your spring cleanup done. So there are lots of things that you can do to make the photographs really beautiful. And the truth is, 95% of all people start looking for real estate online. So if that is not a beautiful picture of your home, they're going to click right to the next one. They really are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. It's creating the image of a home that people want to live in.
They do.
And so when you're a buyer in this market, you know, because the inventory is low, maybe it'll go up a little bit in the spring. How flexible do you need to be as a buyer? Can you negotiate a little bit? I mean, what's your advice for buyers coming into this market? Should they be kind of going in at an asking price or?
Well, I think that the first thing that a buyer needs to do is make sure that they are represented. So they need a buyer's broker.
Yeah.
They need a relationship with somebody who is going to say to them, the house next door sold for this price, the house across the street sold for this price, this is where I would come in. Now, if it is in a price range that is highly desirable and there are a lot of buyers for it, you are very likely going to pay the asking price or more than the asking price. And you just need to make sure that you are represented by somebody who is really good at negotiating, because at the end of the day, you have to have them represent you so that you can get the house that you want.
Absolutely. And so I know you said Providence is not necessarily a spring market all year round.
Yep.
You know, houses are
Yep.
buying and selling. Are there any markets that surprised you this year in Rhode Island? Any cities that sort of spiked in terms of home sales and purchases? Anything that's becoming hot that maybe wasn't?
Well, all parts of Providence got really hot. The west side, the east side, so they are hot. And there's a very artistic community that comes in to the west end and the west side of Providence. So that market never surprises me. It's always a really strong market. Yeah. The thing that surprises me every single year is that of all the communities, and we do business in every community, in all the communities, Barrington starts first. I'm never sure why.
Barrington
I always
gets hot.
find it Barrington gets hot before every other community.
Interesting.
So it's interesting. I don't know if it's because there's so much water there and people start to envision a spring or a summer on the water, or if it's the school system that drives it, but I'm always amazed that community just gets hot faster than everybody else.
It is nice. Yeah. And you know, Warren is picking up too. There's
Warren,
a lot going on in Warren.
Warren is great. It's amazing. I was in Warren today. And Warren is great. And then the coastal communities get busier and busier as the beautiful weather happens and people start to envision themselves in in the breakers.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
Right.
Envision yourself there.
Envision,
If
right.
you can get there, God bless you.
That's right,
But yeah,
exactly.
Watch Hill. You know, you want to get that beach house.
I mean, they're beautiful communities. We are so lucky to be in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
We truly are.
I know. We are lucky. And so, how about trends in real estate as a whole? I mean, in terms of anything that we're noticing this year with marketing, or what's happening?
So marketing has changed dramatically over the last 10 years in real estate. It used to be that we were dependent on the newspaper, and every ad read the same.
Yeah.
3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. That was it. But now marketing is different. And one of the things I like to say about our company is we have a residential properties advantage. We have 3 full-time videographers who do video and tell storytelling about houses, which is an incredibly unusual thing throughout our whole country to be able to do it. So if you went onto residentialproperties.com and went to our videos, you'd see the stories that we tell about the houses.
Right.
And I do all the voiceovers. I've done over 2,000 voiceovers.
Excellent.
So
there you go. So
great.
you're getting famous.
I am really famous.
Video housing market.
That's right. That's right. But that's changed dramatically. And I think that for people who have not sold their house in a long time, we do staging, which was never
Very
popular.
helpful, yeah.
Very helpful. We have floor plans. We make it easier for the buyer to imagine their own furnishings in the home.
Yeah, that's tough to do. Any properties that come to mind in terms of anything really interesting, historic that's been on the market lately with you guys, or any really cool homes?
Well, we have pretty beautiful homes. We are responsible for selling the largest 3 estates that were on the east side. They were all on acre plus land, and nobody wants those huge houses with all that land. I mean, it's
Somebody
too
will
expensive.
eventually.
So what they all did is the houses sold separately and the land sold separately.
They
broke it up, and I think that happens often in cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did. We just had the Providence Historical Society on, and I'm just wondering personally, as a starting in Providence,
Yes.
what is your opinion on people not restoring the homes that are here and turning them into other things? Are you?
Oh, it breaks my heart. I love restoration.
I know.
So I believe strongly that you can, if you know what you're doing and you get good advice, you can restore a house for the same as you would do something that was not historically correct. So we have found that everyone who seems to buy historic houses, we recommend that they go to the Providence Preservation Society.
Yeah.
They get great advice, and you're really able to replace those windows that were vinyl sided to with historic windows, and it doesn't break the bank, and it makes a huge difference. We have to take care of these properties.
You own a piece of history.
You do.
I mean, it's pretty exciting.
And it's half of the reason why people come to this state. They love our architecture. We've restored it beautifully, and it deserves to be noticed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so for any, first-time home buyers coming out in this spring market, what would your advice be for them on sort of where to start and what the best first step is to take?
Sure. Well, I think you start online. That's the first thing you do. And you look at all the pictures, and so you're doing a lot of self-selecting. Then do some driving around. Make sure you find a realtor that you feel comfortable with, because frankly, you're going to spend the next 3 months with your broker.
If not more.
If not longer. So you really need to know and trust your broker. And then just go to open houses and say you're working with your broker so that you're protected, and make sure that you start to get a feel for what the market is. So when the right house comes up, you are prepared to make an offer that
you're ready to go.
You are.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, Sally, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
And
you so much for having
at
me.
the kickoff, hopefully it gets a little bit warmer in the coming weeks. And for anybody out there who's on the residential properties site, if you recognize her voice, it's because she's voiceover on all the videos. And so if anybody wants to get in touch with you or anyone on your team, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way is to either call any of our offices, all those numbers are online,
Okay.
or reach out to any broker, read the bios of all the brokers. You'll be able to find yourself, it's like a blind date. You can go find somebody.
You should do
you
that.
can work
Residential
with.
properties speed dating.
That's right. So that's how I would do it.
Excellent. Well,
All
Sally,
right.
thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you so much.
And we'll be right back. We are going to talk about an art opening at the Providence Art Club in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Nick Pachorik and Anthony Tomaselli, Rhode Island-based artists. I don't want to say local because your art is featured outside of Rhode Island, obviously, but we're happy to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
They've got a really awesome gallery opening on the 10th of March, correct? At
Right.
the Providence Art Club right here
Correct.
in historic Providence. So they're here to tell us about that. Thank you so much, guys, for
Thank
joining
you.
me
Thank you.
today.
Thank you very much. Good.
So yeah, Nick and Anthony, give me a little background on yourselves and sort of what got you here today in terms of your art.
You first.
Okay. I'm originally from Chicago. I've lived here long enough to christen me, so I'm a native now. My work is held throughout the country at different galleries, and Anthony and I came up with an idea of let's do a show at the Providence Art Club together. We've known each other for quite a while, and it was a good fit. I think because we both have a passion for painting and an enjoyment of what we do.
Nice. All right, Anthony.
Well, I'm born and bred here in Rhode Island. Been part of the Providence Art Club for 25 years. I own T's Restaurant. Many of you may know that. My paintings hang in the restaurant. Both Nick and I have a severe passion for painting, and we're just thrilled to be part of the art club, part of the Providence and Rhode Island infrastructure of art. It's a great place to do art there. People
Great.
come to my studio from all over the world and just love Providence. So
Excellent.
say good things about Providence
Right.
when you're out there.
And that's one of the interesting things that, we see people coming from all over the world. I mean, London and France, and they're looking to gravitate towards cultural things to do. And this city has it. It's not so massive that they can't always find it. So it's here.
Yeah, it's accessible.
Absolutely.
The art in Rhode Island is very
Yeah.
accessible at all levels, from RISD to the local yokel art associations.
Right.
So support them all. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. That's a good plug. And so tell me a little bit about this particular show. It's featuring some of your new works. Was there any, did you chat with each other before you came up with this? Is there any sort of collaboration on the type of things we're going to see? Is it anything in particular? Tell me what you can about this show.
I mean, for me, every time I go into Anthony's studio or something, I'll, hi Anthony, how you doing? I'm running over to different paintings that he's doing, and as he's talking, and I'm focused on those, and it's like, wow, this is interesting that, So we didn't come up with a plan, just like newer work, but we're always producing new work because, we're very passionate about what we're doing. We're start really early, and we're doing different things. So I'm able to go into Anthony's studio and look at different things and talk about different works and get excited about it. So we just felt the passion of what we each do kind of fit.
Okay. How about you, Anthony? What's
Ditto.
inspired you doing this?
Well, really, Nick and I don't like each other, and we're very competitive, how this can be.
I almost had to stand in the middle. They were fighting.
But every couple of years we get a show at the Providence Art Club, and I said to Nick, why don't we show together? There's similarities and differences, and I respect Nick's work is just fabulous. And when you show with good people, it challenges you to do good work. So thank you for pushing me, Nick.
Oh, you guys
And
are nice.
hopefully you guys. That's true.
No,
It's,
it is true.
It's a funny competitive. When you see someone do a great painting, it's like you're kind of like, why didn't I do that? Or, I gotta up my game.
Yeah,
Right.
It
absolutely.
really is. It really is.
Is there anything in particular that you find you paint more often? Is it scenery? Are you painting Rhode Island in general? Or do you are you all over the place?
This is your question first.
Well, I find myself painting where I'm at, and I'm in New England a lot, so I paint New England differently. I paint it soft and snowy and foggy, and then I paint it lit up, and I paint
Yeah.
the scene of Providence. I paint New York and the city activity a lot, and I'm just never at a loss for subject
inspiration,
matter and inspiration. And both Nick and I fortunately sell a lot of work, so that's a great motivator. And
Great.
it's,
How about you, Nick? Anything that you tend to gravitate towards more a little bit?
I mean, I'm sometimes in the mountains of Cortina, going up in the dark to create work, create drawings, to the streets right around the corner from here.
Yeah.
So, and I'm at the vineyard sometimes. Sometimes I go places. I'm just going there as a vacation or an obscure location, and something catches me, and then I'm starting to create work without an intent, just because this is a passion of what you do.
Yeah. So let's talk about the art community in Rhode Island as a whole. I mean, we have some great galleries here. We have the Providence Art Club, which is one of the older, more historic galleries.
second.
Yeah, in the country, I believe.
Number
It's a
two.
really cool building. It's
try
just,
harder.
if you haven't seen it, it's that gorgeous yellow and brown building on the hill. I mean, it's so gorgeous. And, tell me about the community as a whole. We've got RISD here. There's a lot of artists that are being featured. I mean, what is Rhode Island art really like? Tell me about the community that you're in.
Well,
Okay. I mean, I'll go first because I'm from another place, so to
Yeah.
speak, in Chicago.
That's great. So you have an outside perspective.
Right, I have an outside perspective. I mean, for me, when I came here geographically, for just starters, this is an unbelievable place. We're able to access New York, Boston very quickly without dealing with that everyday large city. I don't want to say the word grind, but and it allows us to have time to do our work, not just to, I'm able to go, to somebody's studio to, fairly quickly. I don't have to commute an hour on a train. So I think the accessibility and it just creates another, it gets rid of a level of pressure that I think a lot of artists just automatically gravitate towards large markets when they're very young. So.
Yeah, I find Providence in Rhode Island, I find the community of people that are doing art great. You have the contemporary scene going on, RISD, Brown, you have painters in streets, in beaches, and there's a diversity of art, and I call it invention in history. And it's out there, it's percolating in the city all over the place between young and old, and the repurposed factories that are out there and lofts, and it's been amazing. I'm in my second half of my art career, so to speak. It's just been an amazing journey to see Providence from when it was in the early 70s when I got out of college to where it is now. And people, there's all different kinds of art. And my plea to all of the artists is respect it all. If you don't understand it, that's okay, from one end to the other, and just respect all of us that are doing it. It's just a wonderful thing. It's we all wear the same T-shirt, I say, the same uniform. It's all good.
Right. And for me, I always use the words that, as Rhode Island artists, I try to import as many people and I try to export goods, to the world. And, it's just because we're able to bring people in from all over the world, but we also need to show our work throughout the world. Mm-hmm. So, import people, export goods.
Absolutely. Well, you both are successful artists. You're selling art on the regular, and, you're a business owner.
We're blessed. That's a privilege.
But, I think a lot of people who are starting out as artists are struggling with that business aspect of it, how to run their own business and keep organized in that way. Do you have any advice for people that are starting out, maybe just graduating, or want to kind of kick off their career as an artist in terms of the business side?
I'm going to say, first of all, do great work, number one.
Be good at it.
Be good.
Don't be a crappy artist, yeah. There you go.
And I think many artists, not every artist, they struggle with what in art school is called the selling out. And people often ask me, do you paint what you love, or do you paint what you're passionate about? And I say, I'm sorry. They say, do you paint what you're passionate about, or do you paint what sells?
Yes.
And my answer, I say yes.
Yeah.
So I try to find things that are good for the marketplace as well as I'm inspired by. I also teach a lot, and that teaching keeps me honest with my students. I teach adults. So.
Okay.
Nick?
And I mean, for me, I'll always remember Alice Neal, who's a very famous artist. We talked one time, and she said, first time you sell your first piece, it's all a little different. And, I went to art institutions my whole life and things, and that was true. It just made it a little different because it's something you love, you vision, you see, and now other people are appreciating it. And one thing I found is, and I think Anthony's also very fortunate about this, we create things we're passionate about, and because of that, that's what people are gravitating towards the work. They see the layers, they see the history in the paint, and that's what they get excited. And yes, we're fortunate because they do purchase it.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, and tell me a little bit about what your process is. I mean, do you find that you start a painting and finish it all in the same seating, or are you coming back to it a few times? Or I mean, what's your process as an artist? I've always been curious about that.
Process for me starts with being in the field. I paint a lot from photographs, and I spend a lot of time with my camera. I carry it with me all the time. Now we have phones. And then I begin to draw, paint, and I start multiple pieces. And there's always something to do. When I start finishing them, I always have to start new ones. And the studio is active and alive, and there's coffee by my side all the time. Not beer or
good
wine.
Coffee
That's after.
There's good coffee at
but,
Tees, I would say. You got some good coffee, so I don't know if it's that coffee.
And one thing I do want to say, Nick, where'd you go? Where did you school? You schooled in the Maryland?
Well, Art Institute of Chicago and Maryland Institute College of Art.
I went to Rhode Island College, and there's good educations to be had everywhere. You know, mine was a local one, and your schools were great,
Right.
well-renowned schools. And just letting you know where we got our educations from. But doing it and sharing it, those of you that are out there that are artists, I always tell my students, put a show in front of you and you will paint. That's the biggest complaint most artists have. They don't paint enough. Well, I'll tell you, you don't place it in the importance part of your time management. Because if it's that important to you, you will paint.
You will find a way.
You will find a way.
Excellent.
Don't come to me and be Eeyore and say, I don't have enough time. Because you're not going to get sympathy from me. Unless you're raising children, that's
Right.
another story.
How
That's
about
the
you,
only
Nick?
go you get.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always an adventure in terms of I go through a process on every painting, every drawing. Okay, I started. This is the greatest thing I've ever did, and it's this is the worst thing. Oh no, if you know, this is just horrible. What's going to happen? And
Yeah.
then I have to almost remind myself I'm a professional.
step back.
I've been doing this, and then all of a sudden you can just keep working through it, and then you look, it's like it's not so bad.
Yeah.
So
That
you know,
process is called getting lost in the woods and finding your way out. And that's it. And
Yeah.
I think we all go through that.
yeah, but I was
at
really
any
lost
time.
in the woods last
You were
week.
really lost,
yeah, I
yeah.
know. So,
Literally. Oh, okay.
GPS.
Good. Yeah,
So-
you gotta get a GPS. So, you know, Anthony, you mentioned that you're in your second part of your life as an artist. So
Yeah.
I'm curious as to, I mean, what the evolution has been. Do you go back and look at some of your older works and say, like, ooh, what was I thinking? I'm not so sure I like that piece. Or have you evolved as an artist and sort of changed your style? Or where are you at? Where are you now compared to where you were when you started?
And, you know, there's some of you that are from Providence. When I was 16, I went to Gene Tornoff, who was passed, and he was a philosopher as well as an artist. He said, know thyself and be one with God. That stuck with me. And as I teach, I don't try to teach someone to be creative. I teach them to find their soul. And when you find the soul, you'll be creative. And your soul is, you're changing as a person. And you change, you metamorphosize. Your art metamorphosizes through your changes and your inspirations. But sometimes we do look back and say, wow, what was I thinking? And other times I look back and say, wow, I really hit it. You know, there's always, you know, throughout the history of my art life, which is about 50 years of painting, wow, when did that happen?
No,
He's
you were
he's
so
10
baby.
years younger.
You were
yeah.
finger painting when you started.
Well, yeah, I was finger painting on it. But it's
How-
just
how-
it's
yeah.
a wonderful evolution, and again, sharing it with others. I've been part of crit groups with some great people. I've shared gallery space with great people. I remember getting into the first big high-end gallery, and I thought it was a hot ticket. Walked into the gallery, looked around, and said, "Oh my God, you have work to do." So,
How about you, Nick? What's the evolution of your art?
You know, I sketch a lot. I always have drawing books with me, things like that, and I put them on the shelf when I'm finished with them. And sometimes I just want to thumb through them, and it's like, that was a pretty good idea, and it's like, that was a pretty dumb idea, you know. So you know, but you almost take little pieces of each one of those, and it just keeps evolving. So, you know, I always tell people that each one of my paintings has 30 years of work into it because of all the decisions you make and things like that.
the
And
question:
so
how long does it take you to do a painting?
Yes,
30 years.
for one painting. That must
Well,
be
it's just
Well-
because the cumulative
course.
knowledge
Yeah.
is that.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Do
you
you
know
ever
what?
really know when you're done? I mean,
You never
when
really
do
know
you
when you're
know
done.
that that's it?
You're done when your friend comes over who's an artist and says, "Stop."
Stop
And I-
adding. Stop
it's
adding
done.
blades of grass. You're
No,
done.
it's not. I want to
Yeah.
put a little bit over here.
Wait, I have one artist friend that I literally take the stuff out of his studio because he'll just keep working, and and he's like, he's just so excited. It's like, "Okay, just give me this thing, you know, we got to take it out of the studio for you.
Literally adding blades of grass.
Yeah.
So before we go, I want to talk about the Providence Art Club and why that venue is special to you guys, and also about the actual show and kind of when it's going on, logistics and things like that. So for people who've never been, tell us a little bit about the art club and why you're excited to be partnering with them for this show.
You first.
Okay. I mean, for me, the Providence Art Club, it's a great venue that I could show work that maybe I can't show in certain galleries. It's just because we had a winter show there. My Colorado galleries where I'll bring my winter work there, but sometimes people in Providence don't get to see my winter work. it gives me an opportunity to show sometimes images in Providence or work that I have in Providence that'll get shown other parts of the country, but I'm able to show it here, you know. So
Great.
I think the Providence Art Club, my studio is the Fleur de Lis building, which is an historic landmark. It's one of the first buildings built for the sole use of artists in America. I am the 6th artist to house that. So I've been a member of the Providence Art Club for 25 years. And there are 600 members, and 300 of them are non-artist members. So we mingle with the community at large. People are constantly traversing in and out of my studio. I have constant stimulation of others. And the place itself, we and all members of the Providence Art Club love the community, the camaraderie, the buildings. We have 4 buildings that are historic. It's been voted one of the most beautiful streets in America numbers of times. So just come in to look at the buildings.
Right.
Yeah.
The show is in the Dodge House Gallery, the street level gallery. The reception is this Sunday between 2 and 4.
You guys will be there.
And
Yeah.
we will be there.
Great.
And we invite the world.
right. And it's
Yeah.
always interesting for us to, you know, especially at a show, we're able to talk to collectors. You know, they want to know a little bit more insight of, why were you creating these pieces? They just want to know that, and to be able to be there at the show, we're able to, give that insight to people.
Excellent. And so it's going on for 1 month, correct? Is it a
Correct.
full
Yeah.
month? And we can we'll make sure we put the hours in the write-up because I don't know them off the top of my head. I don't know if you guys do, but
Yeah,
they're
Nick and I are
definitely
very
open on
active.
the weekends.
Nick and I are very active on Facebook,
Oh,
Instagram,
good, good,
Right.
perfect.
and we answer our phones.
You
Yes.
answer your phones. Oh, good.
Right.
Don't tell people.
No
that.
3
Then
o'clock
they'll
in the
call
morning.
you. Yeah. Then they'll call you asking,
Let's
asking
just-
questions about
Yeah,
your
there you go.
artwork.
I shall-
Well, Anthony and Nick, thank you for joining me. It's been so fun to have you on and
thank you.
chat with you. I really appreciate hearing about your inspiration, and hopefully we'll have you on back for your next opening in another location, wherever that may be.
Great.
So thank you guys for joining us today, and we hope everybody can head out to Providence Art Club this Sunday to check out some really beautiful artwork. There's 3 galleries total that will be open, a couple of other artists featured as well, along with Nick and Anthony. So thank you guys for joining us. And
you.
Welcome.
we will
Thank
be
you.
back in just a couple minutes with our last guest. We're going to talk spring fashion with our resident Jim Fortier from Blueprint 5.
Thank
Very
you.
good. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. Our last guest today is our resident monthly guest, Jim Portier from Blueprint 5. Jim,
Hello.
thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
First week of every month, first Thursday
Right.
is our crazy show. So I'm glad I've got you on with me. And we were going to talk about spring fashion, but it looks like crap outside right now.
It's not very springy,
And it's
is
6
it?
degrees, but that's okay. We'll excite people with
It's okay.
with spring fashion and shorts. I see a whole bunch of awesome stuff that
Yeah,
you
we have
brought me.
a whole bunch
So,
of new things.
First of all, what's going on in the store?
You know, right now we're running our sale, which
Okay.
is great. Any item from fall, if you buy, the first item is 40% off, the second item is 60% off.
Got it.
Which is awesome. And then if you buy something from anything before this past fall, so we have things from previous seasons, you get 60% off the first item and 75% off the second item. So there's a whole bunch of
So you
savings
really
going on.
wanted to do like complicated math.
I just wanted to make people think a little bit instead of just coming in and lollygagging and shopping. I want them to have a calculator ready to go, you know.
Yeah, now you're doing all sorts of complex.
On their cell phones, they're all like, how much is this? But really, just it's a great super sale, and it's been really successful. We have shoes, I have everything. I put some accessories out that I've had since I've opened the store, and just fun, wallets, belts,
Yeah.
shaving. I've got like a shaving kit with a straight razor.
Wow.
You know, all kinds
Do
of
you
things.
shave your customers now?
No, but if you can, you know,
Will you shave your own head?
not with a straight razor.
So Nordstrom closed in the Providence Place Mall.
So that happened in January, and we are, you know, everybody's aware of that. And so one of the things I've been thinking about is, well, where do you go now? Where do those customers go? Where, if you were a Nordstrom shopper, obviously you have an elevated taste level, and where are you going now? And there really isn't a lot around, and that's where I think we come in. You know, there are stores in this area that you can buy at the very, very tip top that would make Nordstrom's look inexpensive. And then there's the stores that are at the bottom, which is, I won't mention any of these stores
That's
by
not very
name,
nice,
but there isn't a lot of places you can go in Rhode Island where you can get a quality product and get a value for your dollar. And that's where Blueprint 5 comes in. You know, one of my best-selling categories in the store is suits.
Nice.
Off-the-rack suits. So a guy can come in, he can find something that he likes in his size, we can finish off the tailoring for him, make it look amazing, and he can go out the door. And these are suits that are not fused together. Well, what is fusing? So fusing is like glue. So these are put together with canvas, so it's stitched. So
that better?
it's
That's
just a
better, you're
better quality.
Okay.
We are more expensive than the things like Gentleman Warehouse and things like that. We are more expensive than that, but the quality
did
of
name drop.
I did, sorry. The quality of the product, just to give people a perspective, the quality of the product is far superior, and I think that we offer things that are unique. A great fitting product and a higher quality, starting from the fabric and the make of the garment itself.
So, you know, at Nordstrom, you can do like a Hugo Boss or like an $1,100 suit. You're saying
right.
that you can come into Blueprint 5
And do the same
do
exact
the same
thing.
thing.
Do the same thing
That's
and
great.
get some personalized attention.
From you.
Yeah, you know, it's as good as it gets. But you get some attention. You know, you get me. I'm the owner, so you get me, and you get our tailor, Tony Palma, who's been doing this for 60 years, his whole
Keeps
life.
it locked in the basement.
But he works. You got to keep him working with little fingers. But
If he stops, he might stop.
that's it. We just keep him going. Just keep pushing him. But you get our personalized attention. You get our service. You get our opinion, and our assistance in any way that you need it. And we're proud of that. And I really think that in this area, we are the place to come and get a value purchase for a men's suit today, hands down. Hands down.
You should stand outside of the closed Nordstrom and look for confused people, and then hand
say,
them
where did Nordstrom's go?
and hand them like a flyer.
Or I could go out with a big sandwich board and just with Blueprint 5 on the front and the back.
Why a sandwich board?
Why not? Well, you know, a sandwich board.
I think you should go after the confused Nordstrom. I think it's a good idea. So what did you bring me today besides custom?
So I got here right on time today because I was busy with a customer before I came here. Sort of.
Good.
Yeah, which was
Well,
great.
you're
And we
busy.
were
Yeah.
selling. He was going away to, I think, Aruba.
Oh.
So he needed some shorts. He needed some light T-shirts, and he needed some.
Does he have room in his suitcase? This is a real question.
I was asking. Because it's really cold outside. But what I did was I brought some new spring items, and I brought some things that are unique to Blueprint 5 for a couple of reasons. A, you can't get it around here. We're the only store that can get this product and you're not going to find a lot in this country. And what I'm talking about initially are the Japanese trouser line.
Japanese pants.
This is Japanese fabric made in Japan. So there's a line called Ekazenya. And
It's very textured.
yeah,
Very
this
cool.
this particular fabric is very textured. When I first saw this, I just thought it was so unusual and so unique and just something different, completely different for a casual sport pant. It's not boring. It's not for the faint of heart. Not everybody's going to like this. Not everybody's going to like the color. But this is something that is interesting to
cool.
talk about, and I couldn't be happier. I just am so happy to have this.
Now with Japanese sizing, doesn't it? I mean, don't
It's
they
got
not
nothing to
have
do-
larger sizes there?
It's got
though?
nothing to do with the sizing. It's just this is a product that just happens to be made from Japanese fabric and made
Okay.
in Japan, and I size
you
it for
can
the
size
American
it
market.
however you want to.
Absolutely,
Cool.
absolutely. Another Japanese pant I brought is the.
Oh, wait, we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that in a minute, yeah, because I love
White
it.
camo. I can't.
It's so
deal with
amazing.
that.
It's so amazing. This is also from Ekazenya. So this looks like a jean, but this is a linen pant.
Wow.
So this is amazing.
Now, how are you supposed to wash linen?
So you're not supposed to wash linen. Linen is a wool.
This is new.
Linen is a
Brand
wool.
new information.
So linen is wool. So think of it as wool. So think of it as a cashmere sweater or a wool suit or a wool trouser or something or whatever. So it's because it's wool, it should be dry cleaned.
So never wash linen.
I would not.
Because I notice if you dry it, it gets like a ball of, yeah.
This is dry cleaning. So think of it as a wool.
Okay.
Because that's actually
Good
what
to
it
know.
is.
I don't think
Yeah.
everybody knows that, by the way.
Probably not.
I don't think
but,
I'm the biggest dope.
But I,
so
you know,
don't
somebody
that.
said to me, "Well, it looks like an '80s acid wash jean," but it's.
No, it
I don't know what it
doesn't.
appears on camera, but I can tell you that it's
It
much
does
more
not
luxurious.
look like an 80s.
Yeah,
acid
I think
wash
this
jean.
is,
It's
and
very cool.
this is very narrow. You can see this is
And
very
linen
trim.
is a very breathable fabric.
It's summer,
so nice.
and it's going to wrinkle, which is what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
Linen
that's
is
great.
supposed to wrinkle, so I'm absolutely
linen
love it.
jeans.
Yeah.
Love it. How do you get this stuff?
And then this, feel this. This is like
Oh, wow.
nothing. This is like wearing,
It's like wearing nothing.
Nothing. It's like-
Everybody's dream.
and this is a travel pant. I call this a
Wow.
travel pant, so because it has a ton of stretch. Well, it is. It's got an elastic waist in the back,
Yep.
right? So you can be super comfortable. And I did this with a pleated front.
These are all the same.
This is
Ekazenya,
all Ekazenya.
The Japanese
Yep,
brand.
yep,
Very
brand.
cool.
Yep.
How did you find out about this brand?
Well, you know, when I go buying, when I go to showrooms, generally their job is to bring new product to bring to people like me. So when they do that and I see it and they talk about it, that's how I find it. And I just fell in love with this. I
Yeah.
like the idea of Japanese craftsmanship, Japanese design, Japanese food. I mean, I'm intrigued by Japanese.
Thinking about the food while you.
I'm thinking about a little sushi after this, but I do like the Japanese culture and I'm intrigued by it. And
Yeah.
this to me is so.
Well, it's great fabrics. I mean,
Yeah.
all of it is. It's
It's
great.
just
very stretchy.
Very different. A guy can wear this on a plane
Yeah.
for 8 hours if he's
Yep.
traveling to China or if he's traveling to England or wherever he's
Aruba.
going. Get off the plane. This isn't going to wrinkle, so
No.
it'll look fabulous on him. It'll be
Now I
great.
noticed these are all sort of a slimmer. What's the cut on the legs of these? Are
So
they
this is
slimmer?
a slimmer cut, and that is. I brought this in because not everything in the store is like this, but I have a customer that wants a trimmer fit, and that's what this is. So this is
dedicated to that customer.
this is dedicated to the guy I love who wants a trimmer pant.
Okay.
Speaking of which,
Yes, these are very cool. You're not gonna be able to see this on the camera, but
you're not going to be able
these
to see
are
this
white
on
on white camo.
So it's so funny because when these came in, I said to Tony the tailor, I said, Tony, I'm an idiot. He said, why? I said, because why did I order another white pant? We don't need white pants. And then I caught it and I realized this is the camo that I was so excited about last year when I found this. I just thought it was super cool.
Yeah, it is. It's so subtle.
It's extremely subtle. As a matter of fact, I just sold it to a guy before I left the store today.
Did he know it was camo?
Yeah, of course. I said to him, I said, I have one thing to show you. And he said, what? Just bring it out, because he bought this pair of shorts and he
Yeah.
bought some T-shirts. I said, I just want to show you one thing. And he said, I'll take them. They were just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
now, what brand is this?
this is Mason's.
Okay, this
So-
is the shorts too.
Yeah, this is we're the only store in Rhode Island that has Masons. What I love about this is it's a trimmer fit. There is some stretch to this as well. Again, this is a camo, and I know you can't see this on the camera because it's hard to see in regular life, in
Yeah.
real life, but it does have a very subtle camo, which I thought was super cool.
I love this.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Right? Different.
Can you wear this in, like right now, or are you
No,
waiting
I
to
would wait.
summer?
You could, if you walked, you would disappear because it's camo. If you were standing next to the snow,
Yeah,
you would disappear.
this is winter camo.
So this is just a I like to call it a butter yellow
an
short.
shirt.
It's a
Easter
butter
yellow.
yellow. Yeah,
Butter
but
yellow.
I just sold it. Just
Good,
like
I'm glad.
5 minutes ago.
That guy loves Easter.
No, he's going to the Bahamas, or he's going to Aruba, or he's going someplace that we're not. Don't be jealous.
I'm very jealous. I like these better, I think.
This is
You
also
should have bought
Mason's.
these.
I know, I tried.
Yeah.
And
These are better for Aruba.
And feel this. And this has
Very
got stretch.
stretchy,
Yeah.
Nice
Stretch
and
and
stretchy.
super soft. This is a
Is this four-way stretch?
no, it's Jewish. And this is a trimmer fit. So this is again for a guy
Yeah.
who doesn't want a big baggy short. And so
Yeah,
we've
well,
got a lot for
You
that
have to
guy.
try- my husband still wears cargo shorts, so you know.
Yeah, I know he's got it. At night when he's sleeping, right?
Just take them.
Just take them out of the drawer,
3 pairs.
throw them in the
3 pairs.
three pair,
Of camo.
and
I
then
mean,
he
cargo shorts.
that he
Yeah.
keeps
Yeah,
rotating.
he got them at Nordstrom. They sold them.
I'm sure. So you take them, you take the cargo shorts, and you throw them in the trash, and then you come see me, and I'll help you
I'll
out.
say, where's my cargo shorts?
Let's keep going with
Yes.
the spring thing right now.
Yeah. Oh, I love this.
This is Irish linen. This comes from a small Aryan island off the coast of Ireland, and they are known for their Irish linen.
Nice.
This is just absolutely fantastic. I thought the colors of this was great. You could wear this, of course, here with the camo pant.
Oh, that's a
Absolutely
good look.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Just super light. This is just,
I
and
like
this
that.
is called a hurling sweater. That's one of the sports they
Yeah,
play
we
over
talked
there
about
is hurling.
We talked about this.
We
because
talked about hurling?
Talked about why you'd call it that.
Yeah, that's
Not a vomit sweater.
It's not a vomit sweater. So here's another one of theirs. I thought the colors of
This
this
is
were
a great
super.
color. Oh, I like the end of this too. It's very light.
This is this is a rolled edge on the sleeves and on the bottom, so it doesn't
Okay.
it doesn't gather at the waist. It just sort of hangs, so it's a little more casual. Love this. Love the colors of this. I thought it was a little brighter, a little richer, but it's great for spring. It's got a great weight to it. It's just got a great design to it.
Spring sweater because it really doesn't get. We were just talking about this today. It doesn't really get warm until like June now. Not like comfortable enough
Right.
to wear a not sweater.
But we are changing the clocks on Saturday at 2 o'clock.
I
It's Sunday,
know.
2 o'clock.
It's a
morning.
Sunday, yeah.
So that is really important, I think, for
Yeah,
people like
so
me.
cold.
Yeah, I know.
Supposed to snow Sunday too,
But it's going to be like 50s
so you
next
can
week.
wear these and just no one will see you.
50s next week. Just think 50s next
I'll
week.
believe it when I see it.
This is amazing.
Love it. Feels good.
This is a high-tech outerwear piece for spring.
Why is it high tech? Does it like do your
The-
laundry?
The fabric is, yes, it does your laundry. Throws out the garbage. What is wrong with you?
I don't like. It's
This
like
is-
this is a hand woven. This is a high tech.
It's a high-tech fabric.
Okay, what does that
So
mean?
what it means is that it's wind and water resistant. So and it's super light and it's
It
super
is.
soft.
It's very soft.
Very soft.
I'm just making fun of you, but
I
it
know
is.
you are,
It's
but-
as always, it's gorgeous. And
And then what it has is a stretched jersey fabric on the inside. This.
Okay.
right? So it's
now, what
just-
are you wearing? Now, where are you wearing this? What are you wearing this
You're
with?
wearing this. You can wear this, over a suit, and it's trimmed in this eggplant-colored suede, which I love.
It's got this little elastic at the
It's
back,
got a drawstring waist,
so you can
cinch it and make it a little tighter.
have
Yep.
your nice figure.
And give yourself a little shape. It's just got these, these buttons on
You
it.
can be a pear-shaped man.
Oh my God, you are hopeless.
Hey, it's all the rage to be pear-shaped.
Is it?
The men should be able to do it too.
No, I don't think that's accurate.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. But I love this piece.
It's
Super.
beautiful.
Yeah, made for us in Italy, under our label. Absolutely love it. Yeah, really sophisticated.
Very soft.
Very sweet piece. And then we spoke about suits earlier.
Yes, got to talk about suits.
And this is one of those items that we have. I mean, you can feel this. It's super.
Now, is this an off-the-rack?
Yeah, this is off the
Okay,
rack. This
so
is
someone
ready
can
to
go in and just
Go
grab
in
this
if we've
in
got
their
your
size.
and I've already sold this already.
Oh, so I can't have this one.
Not this one, no. This one wouldn't fit you. But we've sold this already because it's out and people want something new and they're tired of the weather.
Yeah.
And again, we are a value in the suit department in
Okay.
this area. 100%, 100%.
Check you out
Yep.
over Nordstrom.
Yeah. Oh,
You
well,
know-
you can't go to Nordstrom.
Well, I mean, Nordstrom at the end really cut down on their suit section a whole bunch.
Well, they
too.
knew, they knew they were leaving, and
Yeah.
I always thought the women's department there was better than the men's
Oh, yeah.
department.
That went downhill too, though.
But
Eventually.
that eventually went down. Well, unfortunately, I don't think that Providence there isn't enough people who dress that would support that business going to that mall. I think you're almost better off going to a destination store like ours,
Yeah.
where you're going there specifically for that kind of thing. I think the people that go to the mall today aren't necessarily geared towards that type of a store.
Can you drink in your store?
I don't know the answer to that question. Are you 21?
No, I mean, like when you go in, do you give people champagne?
I can't answer that question legally. My lawyer has advised me against that.
So yeah.
Legally, I cannot serve alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Legally.
Well, then I'm glad you're keeping with that.
Yes,
I'm glad
yeah,
you're
legally.
I'm glad you're doing legal things.
Yeah. And I am a man of the law.
No one-
Somewhere.
There's no law enforcement watching this.
I'm a
You're
judge
weird.
and
You're
a jury.
weird.
I play a judge on TV.
Oh God.
So I love this. It's a solid blue suit, but
It
it's
is.
got a little
It's
texture
got texture.
to it.
It's got some
But you
like
can feel this. It has a luxurious
color
feel to it.
variation.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's just
yeah.
got a nice, soft, luxurious hand to it. And that's because
Yeah.
we pick better fabrics to start with. We use good companies who make great product. And this is going to fit Guy a little bit better. You know, men today still,
Fit guy.
they're going to
What's
fit,
that?
it's going to fit a man today a little better. You are just relentless
I know,
with
I'm
me today.
relentless. You were
Relentless. I wasn't late. I was on time.
Okay.
Be careful. Those are snaps.
I think we talked about everything.
I think we
passed the time so quickly
Well, this is
because we have so much fun.
that's everything today.
So I know, you know, I think the real message is I didn't know that, and I'm with you all the time. I didn't know your price points were on par with Nordstrom for suits,
Well, they,
which
you
is
know,
great.
yeah, they are, and you know, we have a range, but you
And
know,
they get you as a part of it.
they get not only that, you know, our tailoring's included. I think if you went to Nordstrom's, I think they still charge you
yeah,
for
not
alterations.
if you're like a Nordstrom Platinum, whatever the.
I know that you can go to Bergdorf Goodman in Manhattan right now and buy a $6,000 sport jacket, and if you shorten the sleeves, they're going to charge you $60. You come to us and you buy this suit from us, we're going to do the
The
alterations
guy in the
included.
basement who lives there has to tailor. your
Tony's
suit.
going to keep working because that's what he does, and he does an amazing job. People love his alterations.
Good.
Women's alterations as well. So if you didn't even if you didn't buy it from us, if you did buy something at Nordstrom's or some other shop and it doesn't fit you right, you need something tweaked, you need something shortened, you need something repaired, you can bring it to us. We take outside alterations, and we're happy to do that. So
I'm gonna bring all my stuff there now.
bring all your stuff.
I'm gonna
Bring those cargo shorts, and we'll remove the cargo pockets.
Just remove the shorts. Sorry, we lost your shorts.
We'll cut them into really short shorts.
It's
and he'll
still
never
weird.
wear them
Still
again.
weird. I mean, they are convenient. I put all my stuff in them whenever we do it.
that's not what. No, that's terrible. Throw out the.
Jim.
What's your husband's first name?
David.
David, out with the cargo shorts. Come and see me. Okay.
Oh, you're funny. Well, Jim, it's always fun.
It's always
we used
fun.
up all of our time.
Did we?
What are we talking about next month? You're gonna be on. It's gonna be. Oh my God, what? April?
It'll be April. We'll be way into spring.
I think we're gonna have a sloth on our show when you're here. Are you gonna die?
I would like to see a sloth. I'll come early.
Okay.
I will come early if I can.
We have
if I can-
Riley the sloth coming on in April. So.
If I can hold the sloth,
Yeah,
I
I
will.
love that.
You know,
I don't know if we trust you to hold this sloth.
I'll wear a sloth.
You have to
holding-
look like a tree.
I'll wear a sloth holding outfit. I'm sure there's something.
Dress
that I
up
can,
like a tree. That's it.
But if I can hold the sloth, I'll be here early.
Okay. Deal.
If I could pet this, maybe just.
I don't
Can I
know
do
if
an
they're gonna
Instagram
like
thing with the sloth?
Now that the sloth's not gonna come because they're gonna be like, "What's this guy weird dude?"
I just want an Instagram with the sloth. That's all. What's the sloth's name?
Riley.
Riley. Instagram.
The
you and
sloth
me.
is not watching this.
You don't know that.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Jim, you're the best.
Always a pleasure.
We
you
will
know
see
that.
you April.
And you look
First,
amazing
thank you.
as usual.
So do you. So do you. As always.
I'm
Gotta
not just
plug how
saying it.
amazing you
You're
look.
just saying it. I'm not just saying
I'm
it.
not just saying it. Thank you, Jim,
Thank
for
you so
coming
much.
on today. We'll
Always
see
a
you
pleasure.
first week of April, Thursday, 4 o'clock. We're going to talk a little more about. Let's get deeper into like summer at that point. 'Cause
Oh yeah,
I
we'll
need
be
to.
we'll be
Yeah.
really full.
And accessories. I miss when you bring the accessories.
I'll have some
I like
things.
those watches. They're
I
cool.
didn't bring everything. You know,
I know, I know.
some
So if you
things.
haven't checked it out, go check out Blueprint 5, Main Street in East Greenwich. It's a great location. It's awesome in the spring to walk down Main Street too
Yeah.
and check out all the really cool stores.
East Greenwich is amazing.
Go to grab a coffee, get some lunch. It's a really nice little spot that you've got over there.
And maybe there'll be a sloth.
No, there won't be. That'll be here. Jim, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in to another week of Lifestyle on Go Local Live. I am contributor Chelsea Gay. We'll be back next week with another segment at 4 o'clock. We've got Kate on tomorrow. And for all your news, go to golocalprov.com. In the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next week.